All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to bring you an update on Cardano. We have been breaking down bearishly. Will we see bearish continuation? What is going on? What is Goguen? In this video, we're going to attempt to answer some of those questions. So, folks, if you like the sound of that, I want to ask you to do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. So, folks, lots to talk about like usual. Cardano seems to be breaking down bearishly, but is within this sideways consolidation pattern, getting ready, coiling up for the next move. Will the next move be to the upside or the downside? Well, we're going to try and answer some of those questions. First off, I want to begin by mentioning what I believe could be one of the strongest support levels for Cardano, which is what I believe is the 100 EMA on the 6 hour. Why? Well, if we look back at the price action during January here, we can see that the 100 EMA is where we found correction during our uptrend. Every time we pumped and dumped, the 100 EMA on the 6 hour is where we found our support. We have not touched our 100 EMA on the 6 hour ever since the 27th of January was the last time we touched it. So perhaps we are overdue for a bit of a correction and a realignment. I think it is just a matter of time, and at this point, perhaps a likelihood that we retest at some point here the 100 EMA on the 6 hour, which right now is just above $1. Good to see, nice support level above a nice psychological support level for Cardano as well. We see a lot of volume starting to build up at around $1.05 as well. Aside from that, if we take these 3 wicks and we extend a green support line, we see a bunch of support levels converging on one area, the 100 EMA on the 6 hour, the spike in volume at $1.05, and this green line all converging from about $1 to $1.05. So this is going to be a key inflection point, a key level to maintain above for Cardano. This is going to be a strong, I think that this area here is going to act as strong support. If we start to break down from these key levels here, this green support line, this 100 EMA on the 6 hour, this key area, this key spike in volume, if we start to break down from $1.05 and $1, well, in that case, we could, and if we break down from this green line here, we would have broken down from this upward moving channel from this pattern, and we could, I would predict probably enter some kind of extended correction phase with Cardano. But again, you know, the possibility of a fake out of a bear trap is always possible. Where a lot of the time, markets will and whales will try and drive the price below an obvious support level in order to liquidate people and shake out the weak hands, and then only after that happens, the security typically pumps. So I see it all the time. Something like that is possible. If we do break down from the dollar level, I think where the next major support level starts to build up is really, I'd say, from about 95 cents to about 90 cents. We see a large spike in volume. That's the VPVR point of control for all this price action history. A lot of sideways price action and a lot of volume building up in these regions. So if, like I said, if the 100 EMA doesn't hold, if $1 to $1.05 does not hold, then something like retesting 95 cents and 90 cents makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And if that doesn't hold, I think key support for Cardano, I'd say, would be about 72 cents to 67.5. We can see here we pump dump. That is where we found support, large spike in volume. So these are kind of some of the key support levels we need to keep in mind for Cardano. Now, something of note, which I've been trying to ring the alarm bells on this channel, which is the daily MACD. We have had a bearish crossover. Very bad news, bears. Very no bueno. Let's zoom out and see when was the last time we had a bearish crossover on the daily MACD. Well, it was here, which coincides with like this price action here. So we didn't actually have that much of a correction, but what did happen was we fell back down to retest the 100 EMA on the 6 hour. So again, very valid support level. I think it's going to be a key level to look at moving forward. Folks, how perfect is this? Last time we had that bearish crossover on the overbought region on the daily, we retested the 100 EMA on the 6 hour. So again, I think that is a likelihood in the near future, around $1.05 to about $1 key support level. So daily looks bearish. The RSI is in the oversold region, going down, lower highs, lower lows. So something I've been saying for a while on this channel, which is This RSI was extremely concerning because whenever if we see this peak in RSI lines up with this peak in price action here, this peak lines up with this peak here, and this peak here lines up with this peak here. And whenever we get higher highs in price action paired with lower highs in RSI, that's very bearish. We're getting bearish divergence because it's telling you the upward momentum is losing steam. So whenever you see that's a very bearish indicator. And again, I've been saying that for a while all throughout these ranges here. So let's keep looking. Daily does look bearish. Let's see, how does the 12 hour? So 12 hour starting to show a bit more strength. Histogram starting to tick up. Weighted MACD, bullish crossover on the way up. Stochastic RSI oversold on the way up. Regular RSI just kind of chilling, not really picking a direction. Very interesting. 12 hours starting to show some strength. Let's take a look here at the 6. Oof. 6 hour might have a bullish crossover. If that happens, that's very good to see. That would definitely be very helpful for Cardano. Now, weighted MACD seems like we might want to have, yeah, bearish crossover. We might not get that bullish crossover on the MACD, folks. Bearish crossover on the weighted MACD. Weighted MACD acts as a leading indicator on the weighted regular MACD. So that's not good to see. Quite bearish. All the stochastics on the way up, and again, RSI not really picking a direction. So you know, 6 hour we're building up some strength, but it's not very convincing. And then moving to the 2 hour, I mean, the 2 hour looks weak. Bearish crossover on the weighted MACD, regular histogram on the way down, stochastic RSI, ooh, in the overbought territory on the way down, keeps trying to have bullish crossovers, keeps not having it. Lower high on RSI, 2 hour does not look very strong. Let's take a look at the 1. Now, 1 hour, I would lean towards the 1 hour looking more bullish than not, because we did have that bearish crossover on the regular MACD, but the histogram seems to perhaps be taking up. Regular weighted MACD, sorry, bullish crossover, stochastic RSI bullish crossover in the oversold region, and then the regular RSI, lower highs, lower lows, not very convincing, not telling me a whole lot here. Now I wonder, okay, so key level on the 1 hour RSI is 60. If we can see the RSI, because we can see we're constantly getting rejected off the 60 level on the RSI. So if we can get above that, I think that's when the bleeding, or one factor that will point towards the bleeding stopping for Cardano and perhaps going for that leg up. But again, no guarantee that we'll go for that leg up. Again, larger time frames do look bearish. We're seeing some strength, but it's not very convincing, especially if we look to the lower time frames. And then just to finish off on the 15 minute, seems like it's going for a bit of a leg up, but the stochastic RSI, again, concerningly overbought, and the regular RSI is in this macro downtrend. So in order to understand if and when we have a bit of a leg up here in the short term with the 15, I think we need to see the RSI start to get above this resistance level here. So just to summarize, folks, we may see some bearish continuation. We're quite overextended. I think a retesting of the 100 EMA on the 6 hour does make a lot of sense. We may have a bit of a leg down further in the short term. I think to understand kind of whether we get that short term dump or not, we need to look out for how we react off the $1.13 to about $1.11, $1.12 area, because there's a lot of volume building up in these regions, and so we're pretty well trapped within these regions. We're not Cardano doesn't really seem to want to pick a direction here in the short term, because it seems like we're breaking down bearishly. See, we can draw kind of like an ascending triangle here that we're breaking down out of, but we're still within this this large range of volume. So once we start closing below $1.12, I think that's when we probably see that next leg down. If we start to close below $1.12, I think that's the thing that should tick us off, that we're going to see bearish continuation. And again, we did break down bearishly from this micro ascending triangle. So $1.12 is the key level to look out for to understand if we see bearish continuation. If we cannot hold above $1.12, if we start to get candle closes on the lower minute time frame, start to close below $1.12, I think that should be the tip off that retesting the lower dollar ranges makes a lot of sense. Now, let's say this is a fake out, this is a bear trap, and we do start to make some moves up. Major resistance, kind of obvious resistance level is $1.20 as well. I think the original breakout point from this wedge will act as some resistance, that being around $1.25, $1.24. But really, from $1.24 to $1.22 is where we see a large spike in volume start to come in. So that's going to act as resistance as well. Where we found rejection from the original breakout point from this wedge at about $1.26.7, I would anticipate as acting as resistance moving forward. Once we broke out bullishly from this thing, that's exactly where we got rejected off, $1.27. So that's going to be a significant level moving forward. We can see there's a nice spike in volume in those regions, and to see bullish continuation from that, I think we need to get above $1.35. From $1.34 to $1.36, we can see there's a bit of a spike in volume in these regions, and we can see how we got wicked off these regions before, kind of price reactive. So those are some of the most important resistance levels in order to see bullish continuation here. So there's some, while the technicals do look bearish for Cardano and we may see extended correcting, there's some off-chart factors that like Goguen, for example, that could act as a very bullish catalyst for the price action of Cardano. So we'll get into that, but let's take a look at the Cardano Ethereum pairing and the Cardano Bitcoin pairing, because folks, I was ringing the alarm bells at these levels, saying we were very likely to explode, and we got above major resistance, and this was the most bullish Cardano had looked since the previous cycle. And I was right, we did explode, we did see bullish continuation, and right now we're experiencing quite a bit of a sell-off here. I think the bleeding might stop with Cardano once we see the Cardano Bitcoin pair possibly fall down and retest this level here. So I drew some green support lines. The thicker green lines I think will act as more relevant, more important support. I think whenever we fall back down to these levels here, I think that will act as at a very least a temporary floor of support for the US dollar value of Cardano. So I often find that the pairings can act as leading indicators on the US dollar value of Cardano. So following Cardano Bitcoin and Cardano Ethereum are going to be very important to try to understand when we can see hidden bullish and bearish divergence on the US dollar value of Cardano. So again, I drew some support lines here that I think will be relevant, but I think again this is going to be the key, most important level. I think the bleeding will really stop, and we'll find at the very least temporary relief and a temporary floor once we reach these levels here. And again, it's always important to follow what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin leads the market. If Bitcoin decides to tank, that's definitely going to affect Cardano and the altcoins as well. Ethereum, it's always important to follow what Ethereum does, because Ethereum leads the altcoin, Bitcoin leads the market. So as well, Bitcoin dominance, I keep mentioning this because this is always relevant. So Bitcoin dominance is a very good chart to look at, trying to gauge what the altcoins can do and what they have within them. For those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is the total value of Bitcoin in comparison to the total value of all cryptocurrency. So we can see right now, Bitcoin makes up 61.2% of the entire cryptocurrency market, okay? And if we start to see Bitcoin dominance start to rally, that's going to place the dampers on the altcoins pumping. If we see Bitcoin dominance start to fall and go for that leg down and fall below this floor of support that we've been continually finding support on, that should tell you the altcoins have more fuel in their tank to continue pumping. This is kind of the key level that we've been finding support in Bitcoin dominance. So whenever we fall below this key level, I think that is when the altcoins really start to go for the next major legs up. So very important chart to keep an eye out for, to try and understand what the altcoins can do. So folks, long term, what are the things that happen with Cardano long term? Well, I like Cardano. I like a lot of projects. I'm an Ethereum fanboy, but I do think Cardano has a very good chance of performing very well over the long term. And actually, before I get into my long term predictions and views on scaling out of Cardano, I really ought to mention a major development with Cardano. So March 1st, we had the launch of Mary. Mary brought native cryptocurrencies to the Cardano ecosystem. So just like Ethereum has the ERC20 coins, Cardano with the Mary hard fork that happened March 1st, projects will now be able to create coins native to the Cardano ecosystem. So that's a very big deal that happened March 1st. But we don't just have that insanely bullish catalyst. We also have Goguen, which is supposed to launch sometime in March, which will further bring functionality to the Cardano ecosystem, creating decentralized applications, providing more functionality to the blockchain, and allowing the implementation of smart contracts. So, and interoperability with other smart contracts. So, Goguen is just another phase of Cardano's development, very bullish catalyst. If and when we get a specific date of when Goguen is supposed to release, I believe we will experience an anticipatory run-up, or at least I think it's likely that we could anticipate an anticipatory run up leading up to the launch of Goguen, especially if the market knows in advance when Goguen will release. Just like we had an anticipatory run up leading to the release of Mary, a couple days before we had our peak right about February 27th. So 4 some odd days before the release of Mary, we had a run up. I think something similar could happen again with Goguen. If Charles puts out a date and he says it's March the 25th. Well, leading up to that, I would think it's likely that we could experience a run-up leading up to that. So, folks, those are some of the major catalysts you need to be aware of. But the long term, well, a lot of people like putting out price predictions. I like to view my dollar price predictions as just fun guesstimates, because ultimately nobody knows for sure. I don't know for sure how high these coins are going to go. But what I think I have a good idea of understanding is when this market is likely to reach its peak. And I think it's a much better approach to look to scale out based off timeframes and not so much price targets. At least that's the approach I'm taking. I'm not a financial advisor. These are not financial advice. You do what's best for yourself. But I do think this market is likely to reach some kind of peak. I do think there will be an end to this bull run. I think the end of this bull run has a very good chance of happening late September with Bitcoin. And in my opinion, Cardano and the altcoins are likely to reach their top roughly a month after Bitcoin, because that's what happened last cycle. The altcoins reached their top roughly a month after Bitcoin. So I think something similar has a good chance of happening this time around. So come September, October, November, that is when I'll be looking to scale out of Cardano. I'll start selling slowly over time. 1 week I'll sell a little bit, next week a little bit more, next week a little bit more, because nobody knows how high these coins are going to go. But based off time frames, whatever the market happens to give me, whenever I think the peak to this bull run is likely to be, that's when I'll be looking to scale out. And if you want to know why I think the bull run is likely to end, with Bitcoin late September and the altcoins roughly a month afterwards, folks, check out our Discord group in our resources section. I've posted a chart by Trading Shot who broke down the Bitcoin cycles fairly well. Bitcoin and the whole market moves in these 4-year cycles because of the halvings. And according to the last halving we've had, it's likely that Bitcoin reaches its peak late September, early October this year. So folks, if you like this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. Check out our Discord group. We talk to our Discord members there on a daily basis. We post helpful articles and resources, so check that out as well. If you want to support us, you like what we do, consider becoming a Patreon member. Link to join the Patreon down in the description. You'll get access to our VIP Discord group where we talk about low cap gems, interesting setups, and very helpful resources. And let me tell you, folks, we have some very, very interesting low cap gems that I think over the long term, even kind of medium to long term, next few weeks and months here, I think have a very good chance of performing very well. I'm very excited about the coins on our watch list. We're currently even working on a new batch of gems that we have a bunch of coins on our radar, but we want to do more research on all of them and understand them a lot better before we present them in a concise manner. So just we're gonna be presenting new low cap gems here in the next near future here. So consider joining our VIP Discord. Again, link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.